What is going on, you guys? Bashtian YGO here, and today we're coming at you with Rob with our deck of the month for November. What's going on, Rob?
What's up, guys? I don't know if this is deck of the month, but this is definitely a great deck in the new November.
There you go. Fantastic deck. And Rob, why are we here today? Why are we profiling this specific deck today?
Because I randomly went to locals, Game Day Toys and Games, shameless plug. And I randomly went 4-0 with this deck, with this list. At Swordsoul, and I was just like, yo, let's just make this deck of the month as well. Usually I don't go 4-0. Usually I lose to something, but I kind of just like was not losing, and it was weird. I made my deck specifically to beat the mirror, and then I only played one. I played around 1, and then I didn't even draw any of the cards to beat the mirror, so it didn't matter. Then round 2, I played against Dreytron. I made Chaofeng game 1, and he just can't play. And the game 2, he messed up the combo, and then I just made Ruddy Rose, and this card's crazy. I think this is my favorite card in the extra deck.
That banishes all the graveyard cards, right?
Yep. Yeah.
That's
so
a
he was on
blowout.
Enforcer too. Yeah, so it's like there's no counterplay because you can chain block it. Well, I'll talk more when I get to the extra deck. Like there's no counterplay to that card besides like Lancia. But not a lot of people side Lancia against this deck. Then round 3, I won a time against Lyrelist. I just kind of randomly beat over a Ferrogy with a Taya, and then they called time like 2 minutes later, and I was like, oh sweet. And then the last round, I played against PK, and game 1, I full comboed. Game 2, I ashed the store guy, he passed, and then I proceeded to just like kill him. And then we split top 4 because it was at like 10 o'clock and everyone wanted to go. But this is the 10E version. I just don't have all the cards currently to play the Enforcer version, but I think this version is better in the sense that like the 10E cards let you get to engine. So like drawing a Shuna with Vessel, Vishuda, or Adhara gets you to Swordsoul cards, whereas Fusion Destiny doesn't do that. It kind of just gets you to another powerhouse card. So rather than just playing another powerhouse card, I'm just playing the deck that's a little bit more consistent and technically doesn't have any bricks. Because 10E cards aren't bricks because they're starters.
Right.
Because there's like a bunch of games where I've just won because I broke boards of Vishuda. And Shaman's the best card in the extra deck. Or no, Ready Rose is the best card, but Shaman's like the second best card. So I play 3 Ecclesia with the Lone Fire. The fact that this is a tuner is crazy, just because there's a lot of boards that you can like play, like use special dose, and then like use extenders, they hand trap you, and then you just normal it, and then you make a Chichao, and then it's really good.
Right.
3 Mo, the reveal to summon a token, and then you draw a card. I drew so many broken cards off this. I drew IO, I've drawn Crossout, I've drawn Ash, like this card. I've drawn like Wang Yuang too. Like these cards are just so good. This is the card that makes Baron for free, makes any of your level 10s by discarding a card, or discarding a Worm or Swordsoul. Then I played 2 Taya. I kind of wanted to play 3, but I didn't have space. My deck is already 42 because I wanted to. It was 41, but I needed to fit room for Crossout. So I just had to start cutting stuff. Like I think I cut the 3rd Desires, the 3rd Chalice, and I just added the 2nd thing because I needed IO on my deck, which was too.
True.
That's it for the Swordsoul cards. Then 3 Ashuna, 2 Vishuda, and 2 Adhara. These cards are all crazy. When you draw this with like any of these 7 cards, you kind of just like have full combo, because these 2 on their own and on Chichao with Berserker, Draco Berserker, which is really cool. But Adhara just lets you like recur stuff, like when you banish stuff for Taya, or if you banish stuff for Moe or the Chichao. So this card lets you get back like Swordsoul cards. This just clears stuff going second, and Ashuna gets you into these. But what's really cool is Ashuna on its own makes is Vishuda. So like if you go special Ashuna, make Monk, make or effect summon to Vishuda, make another Monk, then you banish this and you clear a card. Like you did all that with like you summon 2 monsters, and you with 1 card you summon 2 monsters and clear a card. So like this card is great card economy. And then these are all like free discards or like free interactions with the Swordsoul cards. Then the only monster hand trap I made was Ash. I didn't have space for Valor, and I didn't think Valor was relevant enough to play as a touch with damage. And I didn't miss any other monster hand trap in the main deck. Like game ones.
Yeah, that was about to be my next question. Do you feel like with with crossouts it's enough to counter?
Yeah, it's like I had the big two that I was worried about being Ash and Imperm in my deck. So I like had these ones in my deck and was just like these are all I was really scared of in the mirror. And then the crossouts were also more so for just like random cards in the mirror like Blackout. Or like there's a play I did on a mirror where he there was an interaction where he Dark Rulers me, but I didn't have Dark Ruler in my deck for my crossout. So instead, and then he Lightning Storm my back row, and then I chained crossout, banished his Mo, and then he just couldn't play that turn. And then I was like able to play like my next turn and like come back. So like having like random cards. The only card I missed was Nibiru. Like there's just a couple of games like I would have felt safer having Nibiru, but it was you have 6 monster hand traps. Then 3 of the Rhoda. This card's hilarious. The fact that you can like Mo Yi, reveal this, summon a token, make T'Challa, add another card, and then activate this is crazy. Then one of the Monster Born is searchable. You get it whenever you need to. And these cards like level modulation comes up sometimes because like there's cool plays where you go like Haya, banish these, make Yazi, pop a card, then you Mo Yi, special reveal, and then you make like Boxia, and then you just like clear boards. So like there's cool, and 3 of the Rhoda for the 10 cards. Or like it's foolish. Then if you control a non-effect, you add a 10. So like this card's really good, like going first when you have the 10 cards. Just because these cards get you your 10 in rotation, and like you want to see your 10. That's the whole reason you play that engine.
Right.
And then 3 crossout. This was mainly because I was really expecting a lot of moves. And if you look at my side deck, like my side deck was tailored for the mirror, and then naturally I only played 1. I played 1 round 1, and then round 2, 3, and 4 were all non-moves. But this card was really good whenever I drew it. Like it just makes you feel safe. It lets you play around cards like Evenly Dark Ruler, which usually there's no time to play to. If you know, it also lets you play around Token Collector, which is pretty nice. But I'll talk more about that card when I get to my side. But yeah, this card is really good. I'm very happy I made it. And then 2 Chalice for the mirror. It's really good against Destroy Phoenix decks. It's really good to hit Scythe against like Phantom Knights and shit, ending on Scythe. What else is there? This was really. There was one match where I wish these were droplets, which was against Drytron, but I played through the board anyway because he messed up his combo. So like that was a game where I went like Special Ecclesia, or like I Special Ecclesia, and then I did my full board, but I did a combo without committing my normal. Then I just went normal Ecclesia, and then like I proceeded to just like kill him. But yeah, Chalice is really good because it's good against Baron. It trades really well with Baron. Trades really well with Chichao. It trades really well with DPE. This card's just really good. I really wanted to play 3, but I value Crossout. And Crossout, like, if it wasn't because of my like siding patterns or like how sometimes they'll just side, this card would have been a blowout every time I drew it. There's one game though. There's 2 games where I drew the evenly going first, and it was just like, oh, this is lovely. But other than that, I think it's chill. And then Double Desires. Again, I played 3, but I didn't want to. Well, I want to find room for Crossout. So I also don't like Crossout and Desires too much. I also didn't like Crossout and one of the Desires.
You didn't like Crossout and what?
Crossout with one ofs and Desires, because like the Desires can hit the one of, and then you're just like, all right, that like this kind of sucks. So it loses the value. So I'd rather just play like 3 ofs and off hand traps I want to see. Not like awkward hand traps I don't want to see these cards.
Yeah, makes sense.
And then 1 Cold Buy. If you're playing Crossout, you don't have to play this card, but like I just really like this card's interaction with like Ecclesia. It's really good into like Baron, because like when they Baron tag out, you just like banish the target. It's really good against like 10 because it trades really well. Like this card's not that bad. And then the 3 Imperm that I showed, the 2 Blackout, like risk attack. This card also with the token is really cool. Like banish from the grave summon, or if it's banished from the grave summon a token, or it's banished with a token. So like I wanted to play Gold Sark and the instant fusion for the Magic Key cards, because they're both level 4 tuner extenders, and that's something I missed. So I might try to find room for Gold Sark, but 2 of this was fun. This card is just crazy when it can resolve. Like, there's a lot of boards where you summon out harm, where you summon any of the Tenyis, and you make monk, but you don't really use the monk. So like this lets you keep your Chi-Chao, which is really nice. If they like clear your Baron.
Gotcha.
And then the last card was Io, and this is the most important card in the deck. Now I'll explain why. If you look through my deck, there is no out to Mystic Mine besides this. Like if they just stick one card, or if they just activate Mystic Mine and don't commit any other cards, there's no out besides this. Because Blackout doesn't add it because that's spell 2. So like this is the most important card because a lot of people in the mirror, just like in Flunder, are playing Mystic Mine. So like this is not negotiable. You need to main this card. Because it's better than maining like random back row removal, which isn't that good in the mirror, or like playing like Lightning Storm, unless you're playing like the second version, which isn't that bad. Then for the extra 2 of the level 8 guy, this card's crazy. You make it's Rhoda, one of the big man. I never got to summon him, but like in theory, he's really good to out like Dragoon because you either make the Dragoon really small or you make him really big. Then he's also like an IDP. If a card's banished, you banish a card from your opponent's field and grave. So like it doesn't target either. So like you can trigger it with like the Tenyis, or you can trigger it with like Taya. So it's really good. Yazi, Double Boxia, and Chaofeng. I summoned Chaofeng as Drytron, so that's pretty good.
Nice.
Boxia comes up for the games that you make Chaofeng. Like this card is just really good, being able to like spin 2 to 3 cards or 2 cards. So I'd rather just have the utility of like 1 for Chaofeng, 1 for like utility. And there's certain hands where you just like make 2. Also, this going seconds interaction with the Tenyis. So there's the same combo, like Ashuna plus any Tenyi. That same combo also gets you to a Boxia spin 3. So like let's say you do draw engine, you can like commit 2 cards and spin 3 of their cards, and you also have a monster over there. And yeah, so this card is just crazy. And then Yazi's there for like you Taya, banish the spell, summon a token, reduce the level, make it 7, pop a card, then you can summon Moi from your deck, and then you just get to keep them. And then Chaofeng's just like the best floodgate against like Drytron. Just any light decks. Like if you play against Drytron, this card like just lets you just be ignorant. Then Draco Berserker, I summoned him once. Was okay. Dragite, I never summoned it, but in theory he's really good. He's spell and drop maybe. He's also really good if you play Nibiru, which I didn't, but if you do play Nibiru, you can possibly hit cards. Shen, I summoned it once, and it was pretty mediocre, but he's like really good into like Phantom Knight and stuff, which is like, or he's like okay in the main. Because your cards lose a lot of value when they're banished, but they're still usable. But yeah, he's okay in the mirror. He's mostly for like Phantom Knight and like Hero. The card of the format, this card's insane. Oh my god. I am so happy I bought one for $60. Shout outs to Game Day for giving out the broken prices. This $60 card literally does everything. Yeah, when it first came out, it was like 90, so you're selling them for 60, and now it's 150 score. This card is crazy. Like it's a negate, it's a pop, it's a recur. Like what's cool is like it brings back any level 9 or lower, so you put them back, which means you have a negate for your follow-up play. But then you just summon like Mogi or Taya, and then you just break apart boards. And then if not, you just pop cards. And it's just, oh my god, this card's so broken. But my personal favorite level 10 was Ruddy Rose. I summoned it once against Drytron, and the minute this card hit the field, he scooped. This card is insane. Just it cuts off their recursion. It cuts off like it's really good against like PK. It's really good against Drytron. It's really good against like Hero too, just randomly. Holy crap, this card. Virtual World 2 because it cuts them off all their like recursion. Like just being able to make this, and this is really good into DPE decks. Like they'll DPE you, and then you just like, all right, Ruddy Rose, banish everything. You don't get your Celestial Draw 2. Your guy doesn't come back. Like this deck just gets to abuse all the cool synchros that came out in the last couple of years. No Omega because I didn't play Gamma. I was thinking of playing Gamma. There's no space. And then the MVPs of the day: 2 Monk, 1 Shaman. This is a non-effect monster. He doesn't do much, but he makes all your Tenyis okay. Like you just special him, or you special Tenyis, you clear boards, and then you just make this card. And this card says you can discard a card, summon a worm from your grave, and you can't activate the effects of extra deck monsters except Tennies. But like that's fine because this just summons back any worm from monster from the grave. So it can bring back Boxia, it can bring back Chao, it can bring back Yazi, Chaofeng. Like it can bring back all your good synchro monsters that like have value, that have effects. So like you can reborn Boxia. Boxia can pop another card, and then you summon back another card, and then you can also meet Draco Berserker. And most of the time, Draco Berserker hits the field, that means you're dead. Yeah. So Shaman was like the best card in the deck. It also lets you out stuff randomly because like if an attack is involved a non if attack is involved including a non-effect monster, you just kill a monster on the field. So like you can just like attack something and then use this to pop another card. So like this card has really good like trade value. Yeah, that's the extra. And then the funniest side deck that I only use maybe like 2 cards.
Okay. What you got?
So I got the Arch Nemesis Protoss. This card. I never summoned it, but this card's crazy. You declare an attribute or you banish 3 monsters, different attributes from the grave, summon it. It can't be destroyed by card effects. And you declare an attribute of a monster that's on the field, destroy all of them, then your opponent can't, or neither player can special summon monsters of that attribute. So if you play against a dark, a fire, a wind, a water, or light deck, you just summon this with another card and they just can't play. And then you kill them.
Damn.
Like,
that's spicy.
Yes. Yeah. So there's a combo where you just Chichao. If you don't go through Resurgence, you Chichao, get Resurgence, and then this is usually live by the time you get there. So you just like special this, and then you're just like, alright, I'm chilling. You special this, call whatever attribute that's on the field, and then they can't play. So this is really good. So like Drytron, Phantom Knight. It's good in the mirror if you can get a water, because all your tokens are water. Which is why I wanted to play the Magic Cube card, because it plays around this card in the mirror. But other than that, it's okay. So before the tournament started, these were Drolls, and I took them out because I saw in the room there was, I think, like 6 or 7 Swordsoul. So I'm like, okay, my odds of playing a Swordsoul deck are high. So I put in these 2. I cut the Drolls. Outside of round 1, I did not play a single Swordsoul meme. I missed Droll so much. Because Droll's good into like the Lyraless deck, it's good into Phantom Knight, it's good against Drytron. But I was also not playing Shooting Riser, because there's a combo where you just foolish this, and then instead of making Shen, you make a 7, you make Shooting Riser, you send this to the grave, and you just have the floodgate for when they play. So since I wasn't playing that, I realistically shouldn't have. I just didn't know if other people were gonna be on Token Collector, so I just wanted this more for like a crossover target.
Moving forward, would you play the Shooting Riser instead of anything in your extra deck?
I don't know yet. I think I have to. It kind of just depends. Like this plus Shooting Riser really just depends how many Sword Souls are your locals. Like I might play Droll just because Droll also stops this card in the mirror, and Droll is just like really good. But it's like when they start with Wongi Wong, Droll doesn't do anything. It's like this is more of just like a game ender. So I have to. It kind of just depends on the room. I'm probably gonna keep trying this out though, just because this card's like there's no counterplay. This card in the mirror, or there's counterplay, but there's very like little.
Right.
Then for when I went first, I just put in tactics because I felt like my engine was so strong that I just rather would like they would hand trap themselves, they would neg card advantage, and then I just like tactics draw 2 or tactics rip a card from their hand. Like they'll be -1ing themselves by hand trapping me. This card's also good against anyone that hasn't switched to a Phoenix Enforcer and is still playing Dragoon, because you could just like steal Dragoon, like it could still do that, and Dragoon's an 8. So if you have any plays to make a 9, you can just like add Hara. Like let's say you activate something, they Dragoon negate, you do this, you shoot it into Hara, make it level 9. Or no, you can't do that, but like you get what I mean. Like this card just lets you like, stuff, lets you take control of stuff too. Like this card just so much. And then to pair with that, I also did 3 Dark Ruler for the mirror, for Tritron, for Dragon Link. This card's pretty good. Then instead of doing Lightning Storm, I did Twin. I'll just put them in 3 Twin, because this card's just like very versatile. Like it deals with Floodgates. It deals with it's good going first, because like it's better than like Lightning Storm going first, because like you can actually side this card and going first. Yeah, I just really like twin. I didn't miss. I think did I ever draw twin? I never drew twin, but like it never really mattered if I drew twin or not. Because most of the time people floodgated me. Like I had 10 cards, which helped deal with floodgates too, which is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
And the last card in my side deck was the MVP. Holy shit, this card is broken. In the mirror, they just don't play around it. Like a lot of people are citing like anti-spell and IO. So you just do this, they'll keep the IO, and then you just make a Long Yuan, or you make 10 cards. And against the Layerless deck, it just puts them down on one card. Against Phantom Knight, this is the card. Like when they're on Enforcer stuff, like this card just deals with everything. And then the most broken interaction is drawing both of these. Because like you just drop this, then they're like, okay, and then you just drop this. And they're just like, oh. I never got to do that because the only time I ever drew Dark Ruler was against Phantom Knight, and he went Tour Guide, Effect, a Chain Ash, and he passed. And then I drew like another Dark Ruler, but I had Mo Yi. I either had Mo Yi. Oh, I had Mo Yi. Or no, it's Taya, because Taya just lets you play every turn. Yeah, so I had that card, and I was just like applying pressure. But yeah, that is my Swordsoul list for this format. Changes I make, I might switch out Twin Twist for Lightning Storm. I have to try that more. Dark Ruler and Tactics are broken. Collectors might become Joel. It kind of just depends on the locals. And then if I do keep playing Collector, I'll probably cut the second Boxia for Shooting Razor. Because the 2 Boxia comes up most of the time, but like in the mirror, the second Boxia, like I would sacrifice the second Boxia if it means that like I can token collect it.
You really wouldn't take out like a Dragite or something?
Nah, because there's a lot of boards where you just make Dragite. Because it's still Spawn Trap Negate. So like this makes your like turn 1 board like super powerful.
Yeah,
because like if you think about it, like the turn 1 board is like a Monster Negate, or like a Monster Negate, a Pop 2, and a Baron, so it's an Omni Negate. So rather than you can hold the Baron, you know, and like let's say with this and like Blackout, right? Yeah, so let's say you have like this and Blackout. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. Let's say you have like this. What's it called? The Baron is forced for like to hit spells and traps. This is stuck into monsters and like this. But like if you have a Dragite with a Mogi, then like this can hit good spell monsters too. But like this can hit like the second spell. Because like usually they'll just throw a broken spell into your board. Also, this board plays around Chalice really well because you have 2 negates for Chalice, and they would have to be playing Droplet, which is I don't like Chalice is a great 1-for-1. Like Chalice is really good most of the time. But I might switch it for Droplet just because like Droplet just guarantees you break the board. Like there's little to no counterplay to Droplet, whereas like Chalice they can negate stuff. But that is technically the November deck of the month. I'm definitely gonna play a lot more of this deck. This deck is a lot of fun to play. A lot of fun to play well. Yeah, had a really good time today.
I'm sure you did, my man.
Yeah,
and still congratulations on the first place as well. If there's one thing,
I wouldn't say first place. I went 4-0. I wouldn't call first place, and that's when we don't play a tournament at like 10:30, or we don't like have top 4 at 10:30. Then I might not split next time. We'll see.
Listen, you went undefeated. That's pretty first place in my book, especially considering I know the high level of competition that you guys go up against.
Yeah,
personally,
I played against no free people. That was really cool. Like everyone I played was like a good player. Like usually, like when people enter a locals, they're like they play like they go 4-0, but then they play against like a child, a scrub, a dark magician player, and like a good player.
Why are you talking about me, bro?
Yo, you're a child? No, fuck with you.
No, those are the people I go up against, but
bro, this card is so crazy. Like when I was first reading it, I was just like, oh, I wonder what this does. And then I read it and I was like, what? And it's like some people are like, oh, the own graveyard thing, doesn't that suck? And I'm like, no, because usually you just pair it with this guy and then this guy's fucking huge.
Right.
Yeah, so it's like this card's just, oh my god, I love this card.
But usually after you make Ruddy Rose, that's enough to make the other players scoop.
Yeah, because once you resolve this, they have no resources. So even if you don't kill them, you should, in theory, always be ending on this when you make Ruddy Rose. So like they'll have no grave, you clear their board, and then you have this with at least like 1 to 2 cards on your hand.
Mm-hmm.
So like they have no grave, 2 to 3 cards. You have to deal with a monster negate, and then this is if a card would be destroyed, it tributes himself to negate it. So if anything that negates the activation, and if you do destroys it, this card can also negate.
Nice.
Which is also why this card's really good. Because like let's say they're orange like this, you just go okay, chain tribute, negate the orange light. Like this card just has a lot of cool applications.
Yeah, it's like a semi-Stardust effect then. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I found that application out randomly. I was just like, oh, that works like that. Because my friend was testing my friend Chris was testing Drytron, and I was just like, and I looked it up, and then I was talking to a judge about it, and they were just and I was just like, oh shit, that's pretty cool. But yeah.
Alright, man. Thanks so much for coming by, showing us your undefeated Swordsoul deck profile, bro. I really do appreciate you coming on. Is there anything you want to go ahead and let the people watching at home know before we go ahead and take off today?
Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. And then also, if you guys want, if this, oh wait, no, here's my entry pack. Sorry, this got really. I was gonna show Sebastian something while it do this one. But if you guys if this good video gets enough likes, me and Sebastian will figure out. Maybe we show some more goo for the actual deck of the month.
Oh, a little spice at the end. I like it, Rob. Thanks so much for coming on board, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoy, like Rob said, go ahead and leave a like. Whoa, not too much spice. Okay, let's keep that in the pocket. But go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, guys, and I'll go ahead and see y'all in the next one.
Bye-bye.